It's like, okay, I'm a kid. Nobody's going to think anything of it. But when I think back with the way that I think now, it's like,
I should have been watching.
Would you have caught yourself wearing a Confederate, not knowing? No. Wait, let me finish.
Yo, what's up? I am OMEHGA, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. And of course, I'm here with my mans. To my immediate left, got my brother Kingsley. Across the couch, got my man Mel. What's good, fellas?
What's good?
What up, dog? What up, dog, man?
How y'all doing?
Good.
But all right.
You tired? I'm tired, boss.
Tired, boss. How much of those brothers you think actually traveled internationally? Like a lot of those hip hop artists.
Right now, that's how they make money. Mm-hmm. That's how they make money.
Not right now. I'm talking about back in the early 90s.
That's how they make money.
Really?
That's how artists make money.
On tours.
If you are an artist and you can't perform, think about it. Out of all the artists that's out there, right? If they have longevity, they're the ones that can perform. Go back and look. They can perform. If you got an artist that can't do it on stage,
they're just an album artist.
They ain't in that
studio.
They're not gonna make that money, especially depending on the kind of contract they had.
You think they were traveling like that though,
bro?
They might not have been traveling. What do you think traveling? Like,
hip hop is more popular outside of the United States than it is inside the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier when we was talking, name a country that is not influenced by the culture of hip hop. The culture of hip hop.
But even at the 90s though, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I was in Japan in the 90s and there was Japanese people with dreadlocks. Oh, damn. Japanese people with dreadlocks. B-boys. B-girls, rap artists.
Think about it. Jabberwockies, all that.
I mean, Jabberwockies are American. Those boys are from California.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, they're Asian, but still, like that's what was happening there. When I look, my DJ, I had two DJs. I had one Japanese DJ. His name was Naoto. Japanese DJ. I used to work with another guy named Naoto, and I forget his partner's name, but we did songs together.
Think about people out here.
Yeah, I don't want to be. Yeah, but
wouldn't all them be wannabes? When everyone outside of the U.S. and outside of the hip hop thing want to be classified as wannabes?
I think it's more of the believability to their immersion into the culture.
Everybody want to be.
Even us?
But nobody really want to be us. Everybody want to be us. But don't nobody really
ourselves.
We want to be ourselves, but we
want to
really
be respected for being ourselves. We don't want to be. We don't want to be beat up and killed and hated against for being ourselves.
Yeah, you think about
everybody else want to be us because that is in their mind that's the glamorous, way to be. Because however you feel about it, whatever anybody says, we just cool people. We just come out the womb cool. That's just what it is. We come out cool.
We even cry cool when we wake up. You know what I'm saying? Come out the womb like, wow.
I don't know about all that.
Wow.
You might be on your own with that one, Detroit. I don't know.
Yo, we don't even cry.
I don't even think I cried. I think I just came out like.
Nah, you had to.
Sup.
You didn't breathe then.
Sup.
How did you breathe? You held it in. Nah, all babies cry.
I stretched a little bit. I stretched a little bit.
What up, mama?
My shoulder was dislocated. I popped it back in myself. This shit.
There's actually a video of a baby that just was born about a couple hours ago, and he was just looking around, quiet, didn't cry, nothing.
That was Tupac.
No, that real
Tupac came back.
I was shocked, man. Then they put him out there on Instagram and stuff, but I was just like, he been here before. So.
Like they showed him coming out, not crying.
You believe that?
He was in arms. He was in arms.
Oh, then he already cried.
Oh yeah, that was past the point of
yeah. Okay. When they first come out, they cry.
That's why they smack him on the butt.
Yeah, that's how you know they open them lungs.
Yeah.
Even if you watch movies, they be like, "Why is he not crying?" TV shows, "Why is he not crying?" Okay, everything's okay.
Then they take him and put him in this little heated incubator and then clean him off. And they'll calm down then.
Cut the umbilical cord. Did you cut the umbilical cord for your babies?
I wasn't allowed to.
Wait, oh, really?
The doctor did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was allowed to. I cut it.
Yeah, but how many years ago was that?
I mean, it was born in 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And my first one 2010.
So what that mean? That should be even easier. You should be able to do it like a video game now.
I don't know. We didn't do it.
Really?
She had a C-section.
Well, I doubt it. Heather would have been. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's different. Yeah. But yeah, they like pre-clamp it and everything. Mm-hmm. And then you just go in there like, they clamp it here, they clamp it here. They're like, you cut here.
I don't know. Maybe because we had a C-section. I don't know. But all three of them was cesarean. So we couldn't. I didn't do it. But I saw like, I got videos. They pull that stomach off.
You know, it's really funny you say like about cesarean, right? Like, obviously, I mean, I know what that is, but I've never seen it written out. And we were watching a TV show the other day, and you know, I had to sometimes, you know, like the subtitles automatically come up or whatever. Yeah. And I think they said it in another language, but anyway, they wrote it out in English, cesarean. I'm like, oh, that look like Caesar. Like, and I started wondering like about like where it came from, you know what I mean? Like the whole, but I don't think I've ever in my life seen the word written. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in the subtitles I saw cesarean. I was like, that looks like Caesar. Then I missed something of the show. I hate that. I hate my mind be wondering. I'm watching the show and I'm like, I wonder if it comes from something related to like, did his wife, Caesar's wife, was cesarean and they called it. And then I'm back in the show like trying to get, you know. So I be like, man, I know I'm getting old.
Fall into those rabbit holes.
Yeah, I know I'm getting old because I only watch TV with subtitles.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I just be reading and watching.
Oh. Okay.
Now, you know that's old.
I feel like I'm gonna miss something. I hate subtitles at the bottom because I'll be looking at the bottom of the screen and
I don't know, man.
Why you watching with subtitles?
I don't.
Because I would put subtitles on if my sound is not really.
Sometimes I put on subtitles if like it's, you know, multiple languages being there, or if I'm practicing a language. Watching that, you know what I mean? Like
or Asian language. Like if it's like one of them kung fu movies. Definitely.
Yeah, true. But like I always
martial
did that
arts.
too.
Maybe
like,
I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. Kung fu martial arts.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
Kung fu is a type of martial art.
Yeah, you know. Okay.
We're not going to offend anybody. We're not going to get canceled. We better not. Okay. Can't afford to get canceled. We sponsor ourselves.
They're gonna put cancel on the door.
Wow. With the yellow tape. Yellow tape outside the studio.
Caution. Studio is canceled.
Yeah. Huh?
Oh, you said what's happening.
Oh man. I used to love that show, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's what's
up. So many. What's happening?
Yeah.
Really?
Remember that was on regular TV.
Oh, we remember. You just never remember. Like you never.
And I didn't even watch it like that. That's why I was like, really?
After school, all the time, bro.
I remember.
What's happening? When it came out with What's Happening Now, I was like,
what was the difference?
They was older, and then they had the light skinned girl that was on The Living Color, the skinny one, the real skinny one that thinks she funny.
The sister.
No, she wasn't one of the sisters. I mean, she was really skinny, like Big Daddy Kane skinny. Yeah.
I just remember the waitress.
Big Daddy. No, that was Shirley.
That's Shirley.
Yeah,
they gave her own show.
They did.
They weren't giving spin-offs back then. I could have sworn she had her own show.
No, you think about Nail.
Part of a show.
You think about Nail. Give me a break, I show these.
Nah, she had a show or something.
Yeah, she had a show.
Yeah, or she was part of a show. She was a main character of a show.
Sal's Diner, I think, had a show, something like that, right? She was. That's what it was.
She was the main character in a show. I don't know if it was Shirley, but it was her and a sister, D.
Yeah, I remember D. We can't talk.
Well, maybe that's what's happening now. I don't know.
No, that was.
You didn't watch it?
I wasn't.
No, what's happening now was just them older.
It was my cartoon era.
Remember
Thundercats, all that. G.I. Joe.
Raj got married.
Yeah.
He got married to, I think, Nadine.
You asking the wrong brother.
Really? You don't remember he got married to a really, really light skinned girl? Tall, skinny?
Yeah.
That was what's happening now.
I think no, I don't think we watched that. I think when my parents saw that, it was perpetuating the paper bag syndrome. So we was like,
a lot of people felt like that about Good Times. Like they did not like Good Times. It was just like showing this way of life that they did not approve of for Black America. So a lot of people didn't like Good Times growing up. Or growing up, they didn't like it.
But a lot of people love it. Yeah, it depends on the person.
But it is though. I mean,
it's reality.
But we have to remember, like, that was
our shows.
Like, it was. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like, I agree with those people. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, I feel like we didn't have anything out there that was putting our story out. We were always made to look like in the negative light. You know, whether it was help. Police,
As help.
That's help.
Looking like help, like servants and stuff.
Right. The entertainers, the goofy black people, the dumb,
a little soft shoe boss,
the sexy black woman that's like a Jezebel, you know, like whatever. So it's like that was the look that we had. So it's like we didn't have many shows that were telling our story. Yeah. And I know we have different stories in that. But they actually did, bro, because you got to remember, right? Like if I'm thinking about it correctly, this is why I hate even when we do shows, like we don't script nothing, but like I think it started out All in the Family, and then in All in the Family they had a neighbor, and the neighbor ended up being the Jeffersons, right? And then
I watched the Jeffersons now.
Right?
We can watch that. So he was an entrepreneur.
So you see what I'm saying? So like you had and it was a spinoff
but they made sure you watched good stuff on TV, but in front of them, they were like cussing each other out.
Yeah, it was just they wanted. I mean, like we watched the Jeffersons because, you know, like you said, entrepreneur. He owned the cleaners and he moved up to the east side.
But
you also got to remember, like, they have feelings. They were hurt. They were upset.
But you also got to look at too, like the way this is when you talk about like how people raise people, right? And what you consider good and what you consider bad. Because a lot of people forget, or a lot of people don't know. Maybe you don't even know this, but when you watch the Jeffersons, you would hear the N-word on television.
I remember that episode.
No, not that episode. That's just not that episode.
That was the one episode.
No, they would say it. Honky was light on the Jeffersons. That was a light word. That was like the store. Honky. Like they were saying the N-word, like on some regular type, you know. And then you had Archie Bunker, who was a racist mofo.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that until I got older.
Really?
Bro?
Yeah, we couldn't watch that.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know about, you know what I'm saying. But like, isn't it crazy though? Like how, as we got older, we didn't realize what was going on. Because like I was gonna say about you, like maybe your family using the N-word was fine and it was a common thing.
It was.
Right? So watching the Jeffersons, it's like, we don't care that they saying the N-word.
But that's not what
he's moving on up. You get what I'm saying? Like but that's why I say it's difference in families. Some families might be like, I don't want my children hearing that on television. But that was
normal. Like for us, it was normal. We knew dignitaries and everything. They would use the N-word. They were normal people. Like even though you're climbing up, they're still normal people.
Right.
And so, you know, they used the N-word.
Just saying it for the point of him, the way he's saying like, oh, they did this, but they didn't, but they like this. And it's like, but people view things differently.
Just because you hurt doesn't mean you lose all perspective of what is the goal of raising your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so they was like we still were in great schools. Like when you think of like, when you ask anybody in Detroit, like the best schools, there's only like 3 top schools. We were in one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was guaranteed. We had to go. Like education was a must. And so the things that they did agree upon, we had to do. We still continue. You know what I'm saying? So like our middle school, our elementary middle school was still one of the top elementary middle schools in our city. We still did. We played this game called Academic Games, which kind of gave you, it allows you to kind of build math and English and history understanding conceptually. We still played those. We used to play them in go to regionals. Sometimes we went to states. Like we still were actively involved in activities, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like when it came to, you know what I'm saying, that communication where they were hurt at, it just was just toxic, man. You know what I'm saying? And they just grew. Like they had to grow. Like when you see my parents now, it's like
night and day.
Man, what? They could be in the same room. Like they couldn't be in the same room when we was younger.
But okay, going back to the shows though, because I was on this for a minute. But like, isn't it weird, like how we realize stuff when it comes to like these shows that were on television, like how we've become older and obviously we realize more things about the world. Because I was thinking about, and not just like black shows, I was thinking about
what?
Because I was trying to think
Sanford and Son?
No, but I was trying to think. I was trying to think like on the channel because back then, I mean, being from the U.S., I say that for people that are watching or whatever. But being from the U.S., like watching shows or whatever, it comes in on different channels. But obviously in another country, they may get it, but it's on something else. But like TBS, TNT, that was where we got a lot of these shows,
family shows,
right? But a lot of these older shows, like Archie and Jeffersons and Good Times.
Those were on like CBS and stuff.
Yeah, but that was later. Later on, they went to the
TNT.
Okay. Because they went out, we went to Martin. And
because we would do the reruns and stuff. Now we're talking when we were really, really young. It's on those networks. Yeah. But then after that, it came down to like the TBS, the TNT, Nickelodeon,
Nick at Night,
because they would have like the Dick Van Dyke and the Patty Duke and
so we didn't watch that neither.
Mr. Ed and all these, but Dennis the Menace, all those.
Really?
But that would be on the Nick at Night type stuff, right? And then on like TNT, TBS, that would be the Dukes of Hazzard, which is what I was going to say.
That. Yeah,
now
we watched that. That was our show growing up. Yeah, Boss Hog.
But the Dukes of cute. But Dukes of Hazzard was another one. At that age, I didn't realize what the Confederate flag was.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that. I didn't, and it's just like, wow. And then when you get old, like I felt slighted.
Yeah,
I'm like, why nobody told me this? Like, why did I not understand that? I mean, okay, I'm talking. I'm like 7, 8,
right?
9, but I still didn't know, right? So it's just like, wow. And then you feel slighted. At least me. I speak for myself. I felt slighted because it's like, okay, I'm a kid. Nobody's going to think anything of it. But when I think back with the way that I think now, it's like,
I should have been watching.
Would you have caught yourself wearing a Confederate not knowing? No. Wait, let me finish. I'm saying that.
Like, get the rope, boss. Get the rope,
no,
boss.
Because you like the show, and I know it was on the hood, right?
Yeah.
So
it was on the roof.
It was on the roof.
It was on the roof.
Okay.
It was on the roof. There was a Dukes of Hazzard car that was down the street from my grandma's house. By the way. Yeah, I used to see it all the time.
So could you have caught yourself like even not knowing what the Confederate flag was? Seeing it and being like, oh, that's on the Dukes of Hazzard. I want to get that.
I mean, it's not like you had money and you was gonna get it yourself. Your parents had to buy it, and your parents wasn't buying that.
Well, I believe I believe that I had Dukes of Hazzard pajamas. I think I had some Dukes of Hazzard pajama pants with the little top to go with it.
Confederate flag
without the footy. But I think it was like Bo and Luke Duke and maybe Uncle Jesse and Daisy was in it. And then like you see the car and then there's a flag there.
The car.
But I didn't just go and buy a flag and was just doing this. No.
You
also got to remember, like, it depends, and then the age. Like, you know what I'm saying? You were really, really young. And so how do you explain to a 4 or 5-year-old what the Confederate flag is? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's the new age of parenting now. Like, parents are going to break this down to you right now. Like, back then,
there's a huge difference from 1985 to
2022.
Yeah. And so, like, you know, for us, we can pretend, you know, we get in our dad's car, roll the windows down, jump in through the window and stuff like that. But like, you come home talking about you want that Confederate flag. Like, hold on now, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna have to have a conversation about this. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. And so we were just 4 and 5, you know? But once we got a little older, it was like we had some more conscious conversations.
You
like,
watched it?
What? Dukes of Hazzard? Yeah.
Bro, the Dukes of Hazzard was
the show.
That was it. Between Dukes of Hazzard and Knight Rider. I don't know what car show
Kit
was it. Like,
we had a cat called him Kit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Knight Rider was good.
David Hasselhoff was the man, dog.
Bruh, I don't know which one was better, to be honest with you.
But you know what? One thing that I do remember, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like we didn't really, during that time, was Bill Cosby and stuff out around that time?
Yeah. 84,
Okay.
83, 84, yeah.
One thing that I do remember, we never pretend to be anybody. We always liked the cars. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Like,
me and my cousin used to pretend like
you was the Duke of
like
Hazzards?
Bo, like
See,
I'm
yeah.
Luke, you Bo, or whatever.
See, we never did. We would just, we liked the car and we like jumping in the car through the window and go and like sitting on outside the window. Get him, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
You lucky because there was no car in the vicinity of where I lived that I was allowed to jump in. We had scooters. Matter of fact, we had scooters and we used to pretend, maybe y'all know this one, we used to pretend that we was punching John.
Punching John. Boy, you sound like Cornbread Earl to me. They killed Cornbread.
Chips, the California Highway Patrol.
Oh yeah, I remember that
show.
Oh my God, bro. Chips?
I remember Chips, but I just didn't watch it.
Punching John, Frank Poncherello, and John Baker. That was that was it, bro. We used to be on scooters and we used to pretend like that was or our bikes. Or
Right.
That was it, man. But like that, I don't know, like television influenced us as kids to like go out and play.
But you know,
and do other things. Like
we didn't watch like the Dukes of Hazzard and stuff like that. We watched along, but like when it came to like we would watch like whatever that came on, me and my brother would watch it.
Right.
But like Cosby's, Different World, we sat down and watched as a family every time. Like I don't even like we even watched Knight Rider as a family because it came on in the evening.
Yeah, that was a late one.
Yeah. So, but other than that. Like I can't tell you not one Bill Cosby episode I did not watch with my mom and dad in their room. And so
Really?
like even my auntie was there. My auntie would come. You know what I'm saying? My dad's sister, she would come. Shout out to Auntie Kim.
Hey, Auntie Kim.
You know what I'm saying? Like she would be there. She'd be like my mom would be in the bed, my dad be in this chair, and my auntie be laying across my mom's bed, and we would just sitting on the floor watching the Cosby.
That was the critical time. I was living at my grandparents' house then.
Mm-hmm.
That was. I just remember watching it. It was just, you had that floor model TV.
Yeah. See, we watched
Lay on the floor.
Sunday football after church because you know have to go to church, and so like that's what I was telling my sister, like, you don't remember going to grandmama's house, to our grandparents' house after church every Sunday? She was like, nah. I was like, that's what we did every Sunday. She was like, where was I at? When did it change? I was like,
how old was she?
She was like 4 or 5. But like we went, like we would go to church. We all went to the same church. Then after church, we would bring our clothes because we would change at my grandparents' house, and we'd be over there. We ate dinner. We ate Sunday dinner at my grandparents' house every Sunday.
But this was for the game, you're saying, right? But isn't it crazy though, like how like television kind of like influenced our lives, like especially like back then. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, I don't know. Like now it's like they bring our lives to the television in a way. But back then, television actually influenced us, actually educated us. Yeah. Like I remember, like after school, like you have like
specials.
After school specials, you know, you learn something. Somebody go through a little issue or whatever. So it's like
that's what I was asking about the Martin. Like they didn't have no serious episodes
you
were watching. And
that because you was talking about that, and you bring up a good point. I was thinking hard on that. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying like when I came in, we were watching Martin. I was like, man, Martin never had like a serious episode where it was just like it touched on an issue. Like even Different Strokes had it. All those shows had it.
All of them did, yeah.
You know, even Good Times, Different World.
Which makes me feel like I think it did, though.
I don't know.
I can't think of one, so I can't.
I don't remember not one. Even when his wheels got stolen, it was still a joke.
When his wheels got what episode?
Yeah,
was
remember
this?
when they stole his wheels and he was on bricks and he was like, "Watch my dust." He was like, "Rrr," and he was like, "Hold on, I'm still here."
Remember that episode?
Nah, it was never no episode, even before he got married.
Well, look,
He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, it's my last time to boogie.
but look, y'all know what I think I do better than podcast.
What?
Is my music. I don't you know no good.
Which character did that one?
Elroy.
Elroy.
It
He was the mechanic.
Elroy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had Elroy, you had Otis,
No.
you had Dragonfly Jones.
Who the hell was Dragonfly? Who was that? Dragonfly.
You need to be practice on your craft.
Was that the pimp?
No, it's a kung fu.
I never knew his name.
Dragonfly.
Yeah, I didn't know. I remember the one when he got beat up at the
At the
ATM.
Yeah. He was like, "Man, I need
he
my
was
money."
doing what you was talking about. I remember when when the parrot died. That was the episode that was on. He was doing the same thing in that one. He was like at the ATM, and the dude came up. I think he was like, "What my $8 or
Yeah,
something?"
I need my check because my rent about to be due.
Yeah,
you don't
he
need no check, punk.
How much of that was influenced by sketch comedy?
I don't know. What
Because
you mean?
he did a lot of different characters, and he did a lot of. As we're sitting here talking about it, I'm thinking about Living Color.
Is it sketch
how they used to
comedy
always
or
have
is it
different-
Eddie Murphy? You got
Well, I don't know. I didn't.
because remember Eddie. You got to remember like Eddie Murphy was the
Nutty
like
Professor.
Saturday Night. Well, no, this is before Nutty
that.
Professor. We're talking Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
But before Saturday Night Live,
Because he did
though.
Buckwheat.
Well, he did a lot of characters on Saturday
Yeah,
Night
but
Live.
it was a guy. I can see his face, but I can't see his name.
Black guy.
He a black guy. He
On
was
Saturday Night
before.
Live?
No, he was before Saturday Night Live.
that was doing.
He was doing
a lot of the
sketch comedy.
characters.
Yeah, characters.
but not sketch comedy, but characters.
Yes,
Well,
he was
is it
doing
sketch comedy
characters.
characters?
I mean, no, it's different. It's different. Sketch comedy is like in Living Color, Saturday Night Live,
But there was always
Mad TV, Key and
Yeah.
Peele.
But
This
there
is
was
sketch
always
comedy.
there was always a different character.
Yeah, but it was somebody.
But-
that's not they took that piece and made it a show. But it was a show before that. Why I can't think of his name? He was a black guy, and he would do different shows. He would sing. He
David
would
Allen
dance.
Greer did something too. Oh no, that was
that's
after
that's-
Chocolate News. You
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that?
yeah. That was he was, but it was. I can't. I'm gonna look him up. I had to give you to her, but it's
Now
it's
I'm
another
curious.
guy. Yeah.
Did sketch comedy.
Yes.
So
You
like
know the network.
No, he was his own. He had his own show. He was like before. He was before. He was before Richard Pryor and everything.
Whoa.
Robin Harris? No.
No, Robin Harris.
The Amos guy?
No.
No.
You talking about the Cookie Man? Famous.
No. There was. I mean, shout out. I mean, we talking about black shows. Shout out to the first, which was the two black guys in black and white. I forgot what it was like, Andy and Amos or something like that.
Oh. But Andy Amos was. Amos and Andy.
Amos and Andy.
But that was another show where it was showing us in a different light, not one that's
that's positive.
because they were. Matter of fact, I remember a scene from Amos and Andy. I think it was. Oh man, it was. I remember they were reading something, and it was like it was really playing on like the ignorance of black people,
Right.
or like how we wouldn't. How you gonna check?
Yeah,
how
I'm
we
gonna check.
wouldn't know, or I can't remember what it is now, but it's a famous scene, bro. But it's like, but that's what I mean. Like a lot of the things that we had, like, you know, you mentioned some stuff before we was talking before we started recording, but like you mentioned some stuff saying, you know, about like how it is or why was it like this, or referring to like television. And it's like, well, we didn't have a large space. Mm-hmm. We didn't have the power to get out there and show people who we are and how we are on our own. We were doing it in a way that they told us and the way that they allowed us to do it. And a lot of black people were made to seem stupid, ignorant, you know, goofy, funny. Sexy black women were made to seem like, you know, their body parts are used for ill intent, you know, that kind of thing. It wasn't we're architects and lawyers and businessmen and, you know, and go ahead, leading lives like that.
So I want to piggyback off a discussion we had earlier about kissing ass and doing stuff to get your I don't know if we coined this term or said this, but get your foot in the door. So how many of them do you think were like, okay, look, damn, this role is a little racist, but I'm gonna do it because I need to get my foot in the door. I need to do this. I'm gonna elevate my career. I need to, do all that stuff like what we talked about, kissing ass, moving up, putting yourself in a position where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna act like a fool because I really want to elevate my career. So how many of them you thought were in that position? Because a lot of them could have been like, hell, no, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't gonna be no fool out here. But
I mean,
they needed the space,
obviously,
right?
I don't know, right? I don't. Go ahead.
Flip Wilson.
Flip
Wilson. The devil made me do it.
Yeah. Flip Wilson.
Flip Wilson. I'm like, nah, I can see his face. I couldn't see his name.
Flip Wilson. Yeah.
Flip Wilson.
Okay. Yeah.
That was
and also, and I think the Amos and Andy, like that was all right around the same.
Maybe
the same type. No, but the same type of. Mm-hmm. Well, no. I take that back. Flip Wilson was the Richard Pryor. Flip Wilson was he don't care what you say. Like he would tell the jokes and he would make people cringe. Yeah. He was a Richard Pryor type of comedian. Comedy? Yeah, he was the one that spoke the truth. He would embarrass the white people. That's the kind of comedy that Flip Wilson told.
And they'll be right there laughing.
Yeah. I mean, I can't recall any of his jokes off top, but that's the kind of comedy that Flip Wilson told. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was he was that guy.
I never saw
that wasn't, but that wasn't sketch comedy though, was it? He did sketch comedy also.
He portrayed a woman.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
I'm just thinking about his. I'm just thinking about his stand-up.
As sketch comedy.
I
would think that sketch was
that's Flip Wilson.
You would
think variety show.
Well, a variety show is different because it might not even just be comedy. You might have somebody singing. You might have somebody dancing. A variety show nowadays would be something like America's Best. What's the thing Nick Cannon was hosting? America's Got Talent. No. Okay. America's Got Talent. That would be a variety show. You got magicians, acrobats, and singers and dancers and all that. That's more like a variety show, right? But
yeah, so sketch comedy is like Saturday Night Live. They have shows and they have different skits in each show.
Right.
Okay, so
like a little short series.
Yeah.
And so he did that. That's what Flip Wilson was.
Okay. Maybe improvisation, maybe.
Well, improv is different though, because improv is going to be where it's not actually written.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like it's not actually written. Improv could be the three of us are doing a scene for improv, and then there's somebody that's hosting it or leading it, and they will say, okay,
whose line is it anyway?
Exactly. You're going into the store, you work at the store, and you're a shopper at the store, and he's got a gun. Go.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna try that when I'm gonna have to try that.
I used to do that.
Really?
Yeah, we can do it. You want to do it on the show? Here. We can do it on the show. Let's do it. Not right now.
Right.
We can do it on the show.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
We'll get Di and Heather to come and like they throw us stuff.
Yeah. I feel like people do that already.
What, like, in real life?
Yeah, like with scenarios. What if blah 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 blah? You be like, yeah,
no, but they're acting it.
But you be acting it out. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but I can see it like it should. I want to try it. That would be fun.
We can do it.
I'm gonna be retarded though. I'm act real crazy.
This guy.
I feel like when we tell when we tell stories. It's almost like improv because you'd be like, and he was like, and then they was like,
we're very animated.
Yeah,
we're very animated. I've heard that a few times in my life.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see that. Like
talk with your hands.
Right. Yeah. You're aggressive.
So, but what were you saying though? I was like, 'cause right before you said the Flip Wilson, you were saying something. I was
just saying. Those actors and actresses back then,
right,
that were portrayed in not so bright lights, right, bright ways and stuff like that. How many of them actually did it to get their foot in the door?
That's what it was, yeah.
To be able, because we talked about kissing ass,
right. Being a token.
I knew and doing it for a benefit versus doing, because most of us would be like, no, I ain't doing that shit, and then it's just. Got families to feed.
Mm-hmm.
Money might be right. I think you said I'll be a fool for $1 billion. Wait, it was something you said. I'll be a fool for $1 billion, or I think you said kiss ass for $1 billion. You said
I
something.
wouldn't. Not me.
No.
Yeah.
You said something that you asked it in a way where it's just like, would you do this for the money?
Right.
So going back to like the old school shows and stuff when they weren't portrayed in the best light, how many of them were like, damn, I really don't want to do this shit? But
I mean, we obviously don't know. But my answer was going to be right along the lines of what you was touching on at the end. There is, we all have had jobs that we weren't too happy with, being it. Now, I'm not trying to compare any job that you're doing or a job that I've done to selling myself out. Right. Or going against my
billion or something.
But I'm not comparing it to that. But all I'm saying is I know that I've been in positions before, I've done work before where I'm like, man, I really don't want to be here, but I gotta do what I gotta do because I have these responsibilities and these things I need to take care of. So I can only imagine that, because we're not making millions and billions, right? So I can only imagine that somebody in a position to make a lot more than what we probably make on a regular basis, right? And if an opportunity is presented to them, there's some calculations being made there about if they can do it and how long and what the final outcome is. So, and I look at it like if we've taken jobs ourselves in the regular world, right? Imagine what they might accept in that world.
Yeah, but this generation ain't doing it.
Yeah, it depends. It depends.
This generation is definitely doing it.
It depends on your level of integrity.
They against that shit.
Against
anything that's against their integrity.
Hello, reality TV. I don't know who told you that bullshit. Hello, reality TV. They are selling themselves short. Look, let me tell you.
That's to get followers.
I was about to say, don't get caught up in the hype because these mofos are doing it for free. They going on Instagram and TikTok doing it for free
for the chance to get followers, and then they monetize and make their own business.
Okay, fine, but they're not working for nobody. They're still doing it. Well, so that makes it. But does that make it better? Does that make it better to sell yourself out or go against your own moral compass?
According to them, their way is better. In the way we grew up, like, my boss telling me to mop these floors. I ain't go to school for that, but I'm gonna do it because I want to move up in the company. Okay, they're looking at that like, hell nah, I ain't doing that shit. This generation, I think. In my opinion, they're not doing that. They're doing what we just said. Like, okay, I'm going to put myself in a position to get more followers so I can monetize that, go into business for myself. I'm going to put on this role that I choose to do. No one's putting that on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm choosing to act a fool on social media. I'm choosing to act a fool on TikTok. I'm choosing to, it's my doing. Right. Versus some director saying, hey, come on, act a fool for the camera. I promise you 1 million fans.
But do the directors hold a gun to their head?
Still their choice.
In what part?
Yellow flag.
In what part though?
Flag on the play.
What part you talking about? What part
flag on the play? But they still don't make
what part you talking about?
But you said that it's because that they're doing it, right? So it doesn't matter, right? Because if
it does,
I don't think so because. It doesn't. What we're talking about is if it's their idea. We're not saying that it's their choice because if I come and I tell somebody to play a role and that role goes against that person's moral compass, if I tell them to do it and they say, "Okay, I will do it," that was still their choice. So what you're talking about is it being their own idea.
No. Our generation. No, you are. Our generation. Go ahead.
But look. So you're saying that they're saying now they're doing it their way, right? So they're willing to come up with the idea on their own and act a fool, but look at it like I'm the one that created this idea for me to act like a fool. So this one's okay. But if somebody else tells them to do it and they say they'll do it, it's still them agreeing to do it, so they're still acting like a fool.
I think it's different. It's changed. I think it's changed due to the opportunities that's out there now.
And the penalty flag.
You know what I'm saying? What the hell?
That should be a good feature for that. We all need.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you think about like when we were growing up, there wasn't social media. Like we're in an era where social media was being created as we were growing, as we was coming into our own careers, and so you still have the same mentality that your parents, because that's what your parents gave you. So the young people, they have a different mentality, like following and gaining the followers, being on YouTube. That's another way of making money. That's a whole new sector. That's a whole new job market that wasn't there when we were looking for jobs. You know what I'm saying? And so they're looking at it as, what do I need to do to be in that sector of business? And so if it's figuring out what kind of fool I need to be on a camera, I'm gonna figure out what kind of fool I'm gonna be on the camera.
Keep going.
But I'm not. But you don't necessarily have to be a fool, because it could be people cooking, because you got people cooking, you're doing exercises. They're just gonna figure out what kind of business that they can do on their own. And
but
so,
we're talking
like,
about morals though.
but their morals is So I feel like your integrity is your integrity. You know what I'm saying? Your feelings are your feelings. It doesn't have nothing to do with like what I feel or what I think is integrity. It's different from what you may think. You know what I'm saying? So I may be like, I would never, if it was me and another guy, I wouldn't throw him under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Some people might be like, oh no, it's survival of the fittest. He's under this bus. You know what I'm saying?
But wait.
But that wouldn't change. That doesn't change his or her perspective of, his morals is gone. That might be his morals. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's how he was learned.
Let Kingsley say what he said. Let Kingsley say what he said again, because I think that's different. Say what you said again about the people and it being that they're the ones that they make the idea and they do it versus somebody else.
So if I came to a person and was like, "Hey, I'm put you on this camera, in front of this camera, act a plum fool.
I want you to
go
do a
get your
soft
morals."
shoe.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means.
Soft shoe boss.
But yeah, like I tell them to do that, they'll be like, nah. But they would rather do it on their own. Like, okay, look,
pause. I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
So what he's saying, like, okay, so what he's saying is, let me break it down.
Okay.
So if my, like, so let's say you work for a job and he say, put on, paint your face. I was just about to say it. Why are we on the same page, brother? Put on a black face, put on these white shoes, and I want you to dance in front of the camera. You're going to say no, right? However, if you choose to do it, does it make it a difference?
Almost. Wait, almost.
Yeah.
Almost. Hang on, wait.
Because
no, almost. That, yes, yeah. All right.
They did the same.
The way that you say it, right? The way that you say it is like, if the boss tells you to do this particular task for the camera and you like, nah, F that, I'm not doing that. But if you come up with that same idea on your own,
it's okay.
You're like, I'm okay to do it because I came up with the idea. What I'm saying is, if that's the methodology behind you making your decision, then it's not about the actual task that you're doing, because in either one of those cases, you can decide yourself, yes, I'm going to do it, or no, I'm not going to do it. It's about what you're saying is, it's more about who came up with the idea, not about what you're doing, because in both situations, you have the option to make a decision. If that man tells you to do it for his camera, you can say no. Or you can say yes. If you come up with the idea, you can be like, it's a bad idea. I changed my mind. I'm not going to do it. So that's about you having the power to make the decision. But that's not what it's about. By your example, it's more about who is telling you to do it. It can go against your morals, but as long as it's your idea that made you go against your morals, you're fine with it. But don't let that other guy over there tell you to do it.
I think it also has to do financial too. Like, I'm going to be a fool for you in front of your camera. You're probably going to take, 70%, I get 30. Versus where it's like, okay, I'm going to act a fool on my own camera. I get my followers. It goes viral. I can start selling merch.
Yeah.
But that's different though.
I can start doing that.
No.
So it's like all the money's coming to me. So I'm not acting a fool for someone that's going to keep money in their pocket.
But remember that the prelude to that conversation, the prelude to that statement was about the morals, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying,
it's the same thing.
But I'm saying that then, so your moral compass, it goes awry if it's your idea and you're going to make all the money. You like,
basically,
that's what he's saying.
So then it's the hypocrites then. So but that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Like, we can't even look at this generation, back to the very first statement that I made, because they're willing to do it for free. They're willing to act the fool for free for the potential to make money and have all that money come to them. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're willing to do, because they're like, the new generation, I'll do it. I'll do it for free until I build up my followers, I build up my fan base, I get my algorithms going in my direction, and I make this money. But they're willing to sell themselves out or sell themselves short because they're the ones that came up with the idea, and eventually they think that they're going to make money. So
but at the end of the day, if at the end of the day, if their moral compass or if that's what they're looking for is to have money to be able to do the things they're doing, it doesn't matter how they got it.
But that's what I'm saying, that their moral compass is jacked up. Like, you can't call it morals. If it's your morals, it's your morals. You don't go against those just because of who brought you an idea or if the idea comes from you. I'm going to cheat on this person. I'm going to do this against my people. I'm going to do this towards my family. That is all in a negative way.
Right.
But it's okay if I do it, if I come up with the idea. It's not really going against my morals. But if somebody else tells you,
it's the reward.
well, then their morals are jacked up. That's what I'm saying.
They don't see it as that.
They're not losing their morals for someone else. Like, they're not fattening someone else's pocket.
Okay, but still. So then it's about not feeding the beast. It's about not feeding the machine. It has nothing to do with morals.
The whole thing is a machine.
But you get what I'm saying? Though? Yeah. Like, if that's the decision, if that's what they're saying, then it's not even about morals.
What is it about? It's about money.
It has nothing to do with morals. That's for sure. Because if you tell me to do something and I don't want to do it because I feel that it's against my morals, but I come up with the same idea.
Oh, I understand.
How does that work?
How does it work?
That has nothing to do with morals. Evidently, that wasn't a part of my morals. Right?
I agree. Maybe it's not part of their morals, but at the end of the day, what we consider morals is not. That's what I was saying. Like, it depends on that person. And so what I would not sell my soul for is not necessarily what they will not sell their soul for.
Right, but that's different. But we're talking about the same thing.
Yes, but what you're saying is, regardless of who said, you just not gonna do it because that's your moral compass.
Right.
But for somebody else, I'm just not gonna do it if somebody tell me to do it. But if I choose to do it, I'm doing it. So that's my moral.
So that's a part of the moral the moral foundation. Then it's like they're not gonna do something just because somebody else said it or whatever that particular something is, but they allow it to be broken or gone against if it was their idea.
Yeah, because I choose. Now it's my choice. I didn't have a choice because it's either that, lose my job, and now I have no paycheck.
I still feel that
but now I choose to do it. I get my own. Like you said, would I sell my soul for 30% or would I sell my soul for 100% of profit? I'm gonna take 100% of profit. Is what they've said.
I feel like I feel like that's not how a moral should be created.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm trying to think of something that's like not gut wrenching, but something where like somebody could like see it and be like, oh, I would never do that. Like, if somebody is
go against their sexuality.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's say somebody is a devout religious person. I don't want to say a devout religious person. And they feel that in those beliefs that they would never, ever do a scene that depicts them as a homosexual.
Right.
And a producer asks them, can you do this scene for me? And they say, nah, that goes against my morals. But then they go home and they talk to their friends and they're doing their own independent production. And they're like, ooh, I got a great idea. How about I do this in the scene, which depicts them as a homosexual? It's like, okay, fine. I mean, you do what you want to do, but like, I guess I just don't see how I could add into that.
That's not the same.
But I don't see how I don't see how I add into that moral fiber where it's like, oh, I'll do it at home on this independent film because I created this independent film. I wrote this independent film. I'm one of the co-producers on this independent film and I'm going to act out this part. But if that white man over there tells me to do it or that black man over there tells me to do it, I'm not going to do it because he told me to do it. If your moral is not to go against your religious fibers, right, that are within you, and you're not going to depict yourself as a homosexual, you shouldn't do it on any grounds. You get what I'm saying? It becomes hypocritical when a person says, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it because I created something that I'm going to do it on. I created the platform. If it's against your moral fiber to go against that, then it's against your moral fiber to go against that. It shouldn't matter who came up with the idea. And that's why I feel like the moral compass is jacked up and has gone awry and doesn't make sense and needs to be recalibrated.
Yeah, but I think like what he was saying was basically it depends on the reward.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But that doesn't.
I know what you're saying. You're saying it doesn't.
I don't see how that's a part of the moral fiber construct. I don't see how that is a part of that. How does that? If it's against
I feel like that's why I say at the end of the day, when you stand in that mirror, are you able to look at yourself and be okay with it? Some people are okay with that. You may not be okay with it.
So let's take the moral aspect out of it and just be like, okay, I'm not gonna fatten someone's pocket off my foolery, off me being a fool. Let's take the moral thing out. Mm-hmm. Being a fool, fatten someone else's pocket versus I'm just gonna be my own fool.
Then that's perfect because that's a completely different direction of the moral. What we were talking about was the moral or the immoral thing in that person's eyes being depicting themselves as a certain way in that character's role. Right. But that what he just said has nothing to do with the role. It's just about doing the action that's going to make somebody else have more money.
No, that's what he's been saying.
But no. Yeah.
That's what he's been saying.
But then, that's what I was saying. But then I said, let's take the moral thing
He's
out.
Been saying, he said, remember, he said, I do it for this guy, for my company, and they only going to pay me 30%. But I do it at home and they pay me 100%.
I know that's what he's saying, which is why I say it's jacked up. Not what you're saying is jacked up. I'm saying the imaginary person. The imaginary person. That's what I'm saying.
No, you jacked up too, brother.
No, I mean, I don't know why this is like. But I guess
now you need to get on him. Now you said tussle. You said jacked up. Wait a minute.
Jacked up is not old. Jacked up is not old.
I feel like.
Man, what rap album you been listening to?
Come on. Go ahead. I feel like if it's against my moral fiber as myself as a human being to depict myself as a certain role or to play a certain character, if that goes against my moral fibers, it should not matter who's telling me to do it, even if it's myself, how much money I'm going to make when I do it, because it goes against my moral fiber.
But people don't see it, and especially not in acting.
But when you said, okay, take away the moral piece, right? And then it just be about, I'm not going to fatten the pocket of somebody else when I can fatten my own pocket. Now that takes a different direction. It's not about depicting yourself as a certain character at all. It's only about doing something to help that person. I'm not going to be on their podcast because I can do my own podcast and I can make my own money. I'm not going to do their movie because I can make my own movie. I'm not going to do their TV show because I can make my own movie. I'm not going to pose in their pictures. I'm a model. I can go pose for somebody else and I can get paid. Right. Versus, I'm not going to pose as a gay model. I'm not going to play the gay character. I'm not going to be the guy that rapes a black woman because I'm a black man and I don't like how that looks on film. That's different.
But what if it's to get your foot in the door?
Fuck that. Then you're going against your morals. You're selling out, and that's okay. It's okay. Do it. But I'm just saying, like, I just don't think it should be counted as a person's morals because it's just, if it's against your morals, it's against your morals. It doesn't matter the time of day, the country that you're in, or what language you're going to speak when you do it.
Especially when it comes to acting, they probably see it. That's part of my job,
and that's why people's morals compasses are jacked up.
But so what about
because they don't see it?
But what about the old shows we just referenced and them, looking like fools, tap dancing? Doing all that stuff. White, what you said? White shoes.
Why you laughing?
You said tap dancing, soft shoeing.
Soft shoeing. You know what I'm saying? So what about that? Like, we pay homage to those shows. We pay homage to those people.
I honestly don't know what they were. I mean,
they had to get the foot in the door. Was it to get the foot in the door? Or was it to just be like, shit, we need a platform
It could have been the long game.
What's the difference? If they're long game,
because I don't know these individuals and I don't know what they're thinking as far as like what their morals are.
We didn't know that.
That's the difference.
That's why they was ridiculed during that time.
But in this example, I do know because he said what they were.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think every generation you do have something that we will consider immoral. You know what I'm saying? At that particular time, because during that time they were probably perceived as Uncle Tom's or somebody soft shoeing. But when you look back, they opened doors for other people to come through. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like,
martyrs.
Yeah. Like, so you were able to open the doors for other people to come through in order for us to have the Martins or something like that, because you entered the door. I'm not saying that was the right way, but I think sometimes somebody do have to go outside of the box in order for us to progress.
That's okay. And that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic. I'm only talking about basically defining something that's moral or immoral,
right? But
and when it should be. I'm not saying that anything is immoral. I'm not saying that anything should be included in somebody's morals. I'm not saying that at all. I'm basically talking about defining what a moral is. That's it. Those people, I agree.
But what I'm saying, what if they had to do something that was outside of what they would consider immoral?
But y'all are mixing up examples though. He's talking about new age people,
right?
The new 2022 and the people doing it on their own at home. We have reached beyond many means that we've had over the last 100 years, right? The last 400 years, whatever. Period. As far as we know,
but you don't know their long game could be.
That's not
the
okay.
Merch.
That's
the merchandise, my own business owner.
But I'm not speaking against that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not speaking against that.
Right.
The people that did that, I salute them.
Right.
That's fine. I'm not trying to tell somebody what their moral should be.
Right.
I'm not trying to tell somebody what they shouldn't be.
Right.
That's why I say I think that part you're misunderstanding. I'm only talking about how the morals are defined. Right. And all I'm saying is, if I am a man that looks at a situation that somebody offers me or a job somebody offers me, and I decline that job because I feel that what they want me to do goes against my morals, and then I go back and I do it myself, then it wasn't really against my morals because I'm still doing it.
Right.
I don't care if I am getting paid 100% of the profits. Right. I'm still going against my morals.
Right.
But if the objective changes, and the objective is the second one that he said, I'm not going to do it for him. Not because I don't want to play that role, but because I don't want him to get money. I'm going to figure out a way to do it myself so I can make all the money. That's a different objective. Right. And that is different from the morals in the case. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If it's against your morals, it should be against your morals. It don't matter who's asking you to do it. I don't care if bug-eyed aliens come down from outer space and ask you to do it. If it's against your morals, don't accept the job.
But what if it is against your morals, but like you said, the objective has changed? Yeah. Not because I see.
Then that's a different conversation. It's not what I was talking about.
Right. But then, yeah, but what I'm saying is, what if it was you chose or you told whomever, I'm not doing it because of this, right? Then you go back, you get let go or whatever. You go back, you be like, you know what? That shit can be profitable.
Right.
So then it's like, I'm gonna do it. Did your morals change? Or did the objective change? You know what I'm saying?
You gotta ask the person.
Right, but so that's what I'm saying. So when you say like, if you not doing it because you said this and then you go back and do it, then your morals are jacked up. What if your morals wasn't jacked up? Your objective just changed.
Then that's different. That's new information. I'm just saying, if the person says that this particular thing is against my morals, they don't do it over here, but then they do it over here, then the morals are jacked up. But if they're announcing that, I've thought about this and my ideas have changed, then they've changed their morals, then okay. But if they're still saying that it's against their morals, but they're still willing to do it over here, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's that still remains a fact.
Why not?
But if you're changing it, if you're telling me in the example that they're changing it, then okay, then they changed it.
What if they still against it? What if they didn't do it? They didn't. So let's use the example.
Right.
You don't beat women, right?
Right.
And you agree not to beat a woman. However, on screen, right?
Right.
However, you get a script that you can do on your own, and you realize like this is a good script, and it has a scene where you have to beat a woman. You choose to do it, but you do it on your own. You independently. You see like the fruit of it. Are you still against? Did your morals change, or did the objective change?
That's a good example, and I'm gonna tell. No, I got you.
Yeah,
that's a really good example, and I'll tell you this: if I am somebody who says it is truly against my morals to do that on screen, right, there's a reason why I say that, right? The reason would be because I feel that it's bad to portray that.
Right.
It's bad to have that in the eyes of people. But I also realize that it's a problem. Fair to say? So guess what? If I'm doing this on my own, I'm not going to do their script. I'm going to do it on my own. And I'm going to do it in a way where it's going to allude to the fact that I beat somebody. You see what I'm saying? It's going to allude to the fact that I put my hands on her. And I'll probably use that script to be able to address other issues like her getting help or me getting help or whatever the case is, so I can show another side of it. Because that means I'm saying it's against my morals to do that on screen, but it may not be against my morals to educate people about that particular subject. So no, you're not going to see me lay smack down on anyone, but you may hear something behind closed doors. You may hear baby, no, or whatever. Right. And then it's like, oh man. And then the next scene, you see what the results are from me putting my hands on that person. Right. So if I'm truly against it, if it's truly against my morals, I'm really not going to do it. I don't care if you tell me to do it or if I'm creating the script myself. I'm gonna find out a better way so I can educate people and still stay within my moral compass.
Right, but what I'm saying is, what if? So you just changed the entire. I'm not saying if the script has changed. I'm saying if they presented, you were presented with another script, right?
Yeah.
And it has a scene where you have to show that you beating a woman on screen.
Right.
Right. However, the objective is that you're able to start this company on your own. This is an independent script where it's being brought to you. You have pretty much majority of the profit. Do you go and show this scene and do this film?
Nah, because if I own the company, then I'm an EP. I'm an executive. That's not how it works. I'm an EP. Bro, this is why Wesley Snipes does movies and he's only having sex with white women in there, because that's part of things in his contract. There's a reason why certain people do roles and they don't show anything but their breasts or nothing but their breasts. They show a silhouette because they've read these scripts and they're like, nah, I'm not doing it, because they held to their moral compass. That's why what's her name? Just getting the divorce. Megan Good. That's why she doesn't do certain scenes, because she has a certain moral compass that she is going to uphold. It doesn't matter who's telling her to do it, whether it's her own production. She's just not going to do it. Now, if we talk about these people that are willing to give that up, more power to them. Right. But if I'm a person that's saying I'm not going to give it up, I'm sticking to my morals, God dang it, I'm sticking to my morals. I'm going to figure out another way to do it. And if I go this far and I got my company, I'm owning it, I'm an owner. I'm automatically an EP. I'm an EP of anything that Miancore Productions does. I can get in there and try to change things up the best way to fit the team, the effort, and everything that we doing to fit the overall goal. And if I own the company, or I'm an EP in the movie that the company is producing, and I'm an actor in it, and this is about my role, I got that kind of creative control as well.
But what if it's to get your foot in the door, though? Like, what if it's to get... Like you just shouted out everything you have.
You make a decision. Are you going to go against your moral compass?
To elevate yourself and elevate your family.
To get your foot in the door? Or are you going to hold true? There are plenty of people that, if you're asking me individually.
I'm not just... and
that goes back to what we said in the beginning.
Some people feel like, I'm trying to win the war, not the battle.
That's what we started off with.
So if I have to do this to get my foot in the door, to educate after I get my foot in the door, to shine light into it, then that's what I'm gonna do.
It depends on your strategy then, because in the end, when the war is over, when they go back and they look at all the shrapnel on the ground and they look at all the dead bodies and stuff, they're gonna uncover what you did during those battles, and they're gonna be like, how you over here speaking this way and speaking that way when in that battle over there you did this, and that battle over there you did this? So you might win the war, but in the end, you might get canceled.
Insert cancel culture.
Boom.
Right. So that's what I said. That goes back to.
But I mean, can we agree? That's how it works. I agree with you.
Right.
But that's how it works. You go in and you fight your battles how you want to fight them. But in the end, when the smoke clears, it's going to look a little different. And that's when they're going to start going through. That's when they're going to go through and they're going to start Kevin Harting you and Dave Chappelling you, right? And they're going to find all the things that you were doing before that goes against the grain or against what you said or doesn't look nice now.
But they should know. But they should know that you did that to elevate your career. They should know, or at least think like, okay, you know, you'll probably have to just tell that story and just be like, look, I did that role because it got me this. I was able to employ all of these black people in my studio and do this. And you've never seen me portray that ever in any of my stuff. That sounds nice.
I never thought, and nor do I think that Joe Rogan is a racist, but look at what they're doing to him right now. You know what I'm saying?
I think they just jealous of that 100 million.
Maybe not. But that's all a part of it, right? Because you're doing it to uplift, and uplift is going to bring you more money, right? That's what he's doing. So now people are pulling away from Spotify. So look, it's the world that we live in.
But at the end of the day, of course, you know what the world look at it as. But where we was asking, if you went that route where you chose to beat women on screen, in order to educate and elevate at a later note, or to get your foot in the door, in order to educate and elevate, did your morals compass change? Or did you just figure out a different strategy or a different objective in order to reach your goal?
Like I said, being a creative, there is a creative way to beat a woman on screen without beating a woman on screen. That's the route that I would go.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it could look like I
can kick your ass creatively.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, I could do in-camera transitions, and I've got a wall.
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
So I can figure out a way to do it where I'm not physically doing it, get the point across, and then educate.
Right.
You know, or make my point of the story.
Like, yeah, I mean, of course you can be creative in that way.
Right.
But at the end of the day, on screen, it seems, or you insinuate that you whooped this woman on screen.
Right.
And you're against it.
Right.
So you're saying if you're against it, you shouldn't do it at all, regardless.
Or even give an ounce of perception on it.
Or if not, your moral compass is messed up.
I'm not saying that. What I was talking about was the people. And from the example that he gave, and I'm like, based off that example, it doesn't sound like it really is against their morals. If the only loophole in his initial example was they're not going to do whatever it is because that person is telling them to do it, they're willing to do it if they tell themselves to do it. And I'm like, that doesn't match with what a moral compass is, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't match. It doesn't matter who is telling you to do it, even yourself. If it's against your morals, it's against your morals. It shouldn't matter. That's all I was saying.
But how? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like
it's called not being a hypocrite.
Yeah, but
if I'm saying I'm not going to do it because you asked me to do it, I'm not going to do it because he asked me to do it, but I'll do it because I told myself to do it, then I'm a hypocrite. All the people know is, in an interview, I told you, no, I'm not going to do it. I told you, no, I'm not going to do it. And then I do it myself. I'm a hypocrite. That's the epitome of a hypocrite.
But the example that we gave you when you did it on your own independently, doesn't that still make you a hypocrite?
No, that was you kept changing goalposts. You kept changing. Then you were asking me, like, what would I do?
I'm saying if it was a person,
answering that as me.
Yeah.
If I was a person that was trying to hold to my morals, right? And that's what I have to do. I'll try to figure out a creative way to do it where I'm not physically beating someone on camera.
Okay.
If that was truly what it was, and still try to get the point across, and even threw in the part about educating people, that was you were asking me, like, what would I do?
Right.
If I was trying to do that.
Okay, so let's say the person took the first. This is the script they used. They beat the woman on screen. The next script they had, they did the creative way where they didn't show it. And every screen after that, every scene or every script after that, they didn't show the woman being beat on the screen. But they entered the door in order to be able to change the narrative as they move forward. Yeah. Are they a hypocrite? Did they not keep their moral value? Or did they go in with a strategy and saying, you know what? I'm going to whoop her ass. I'm gonna get in here, and I'm finna change the way it is supposed to be portrayed on screen because I'm gonna get in there.
But and they did it. It takes the initial act of actually.
So are they a hypocrite?
No, that was okay.
You see what I'm saying?
That was a different. That again, like I said, that is changing the goalposts. Yes, you gave a different scenario, and I understand what you're saying. I agree.
Right.
But my initial response, again, wasn't about what somebody's doing, what they're not doing, how did they creatively do it, or whatever. I was simply talking about defining what sticking to your morals mean. And all I was saying with that, again, is it doesn't matter who is telling you.
Right.
Even if it's yourself. If you're sticking to your morals, you're sticking to your morals. And I think what I was talking about with Kingsley on that initial example was, it was more about who came up with the idea instead of actually doing it. That's what it looked like. Because from what Kingsley was saying was, he's not going to do it for this person or that person, but he'll do it for himself. So then it doesn't even look like it's a moral issue.
Right.
It looks more like an ego. I'm not doing it because you told me to do it, and I'm not doing it because you told me to do it, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it. That's an ego. That's not a moral issue. That's a whose idea was it issue. You see what I'm saying? That's what I was talking about in the beginning with him. But I was only talking about defining what having morals are. Right. And if it's a moral, it should be immovable, right? That's why I was going with that. It should be immovable. If it's my moral, it's my moral. It doesn't matter who has told me to do it or asked me to do it, including myself. If it goes against my morals, it goes against my morals.
Can morals change? Like you can have one for a particular thing and then it changed the next day?
Everything else, everything you're saying, I agree with. Okay. All of that is valid. But I was only talking about one initial statement, one initial example that he gave.
Right.
That's it. But
we do not promote whooping on women. I just
definitely don't. But yeah, I agree with it. But you see what I'm saying? But like if the whole conversation is looked at, it's like there was one thing being addressed and then it was like, okay, but what if it's like this? Okay, and then what if it's like this? And then what if it's like this? And it's like, all that is great. And I agree with you. Even I played in and I was like, well, if I was doing it, I would do it like this and I would do it creatively. Right. Yeah, I played along. But it doesn't change my initial statement of morals are morals, right? So if a person is going to stick to that, that's the only part.
But I agree. I agree. Like morals are morals. But what I'm saying is, if my morals is not to do this, right? But I see there is an issue with it being portrayed a certain way. I need to get in the door to change that perspective. Is that okay? Is that okay to portray it in order to get in the door, even though it's against my morals?
I'm not going to say it's not okay. I'm not going to say it's not okay. I think something like that is sensitive. Yeah. Depending on what the topic is. Right. Depending on the climate of the entertainment community. Right. Depending on your actual career and where you are. Right. In your career. Like there's so many factors there. Right. Is it possible? Is it plausible? Yeah. Right. I mean, I definitely think that something we have to make drastic changes in order to overcome drastic measures. Right. Right. We have to. So yeah, of course.
Because you can. Because I don't know what that.
I don't know what it looks like. I mean, if you're asking me to, I don't know what that looks like because I need to know more. I need to know more about the situation. But can it be done? Would I agree with it? Sure. No problem.
That's all I was saying. Because like you can say like. You know, people be like, "Oh, I will never work with a racist." Okay, but what if your boss is a racist and he's going to give you a raise? Like, do you not take it? You know what I'm saying? And he's giving you control over
I don't know if that's morals. Sector. I think that's preference. I don't think that's morals because if that's your morals, you just can't walk Earth. Like just stay away from Earth.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like
you know what I'm saying? Like that's a preference. I prefer not to work with racists. Yeah, but morally speaking, I can't avoid them.
But work with them.
Like, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like when does your morals, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's just you have to win the war and not the battle. And yeah, it may come with like what you were saying, like cancel culture. But at the end of the day, I think
there's some pride swallowing going
in order
on.
For in order to move the needle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel like sometimes you have to take some things to move the needle. We've seen it being done through history. And I feel like, what are morals? Like, you know what I'm saying? I have my own morals.
You have to decide those for yourself.
Right. And so that's it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like your morals, your values is based on
yourself.
That's like having a relationship with your God. Like your morals, like that's on you. That's your whole world, and you create those and you follow those and you stick to those.
Right. Like if your morals like thou shalt not, I'm not gonna kill anybody. But if somebody running in my crib, I'm dropping them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
No. For me, that's a preference. I prefer not to kill. But if you mess with my woman, my mother, my son, I mean, you know, it's curtains for you. It's curtains for you.
Yeah, midnight night. Yeah, midnight night. Eternally. Forever.
All right, y'all. Well, that's been another episode of Diverse Clarity. To my immediate left, I got my man Kingsley. Across the couch, I got my brother Mel. I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. We'll catch you next episode.